Hi guys, my name is Jessie Bowler and today I'm going to be doing a speech over how to do 3 types of basic braids. So the first one we're going to do is the classic, 3-strand braid. And the other 2 we're going to do are the fishtail and the French or Dutch braid. So I guess I'll start with the classic, 3-strand. And I'll just do half my head for this one for the sake of time. Most people know how to do a 3-strand braid, but if you don't, I hope this helps. I've been doing hair since I was a kid. I've been braiding hair and doing my sister's hair, so hopefully, I'm qualified for this. I have been told I do braid backwards though. So most people would braid over by crossing their sections over like this. I do not do that. I actually braid mine under, so I'll cross my sections under my hair. So that's just kind of how I taught myself to do it, and that kind of does impact how I do other braids and stuff, but we'll just start with the classic 3-strand. So you'll take your 3 strands of hair. They need to be pretty even, so we'll have a right side, middle, and left side. So what I like to do is I like to go right side first. So I'll cross the right under the middle, and now the right one becomes the middle, and then I'll cross the left one underneath that. And you just keep going, crossing left over or under. As long as you're crossing hair though, you're doing a braid. You just keep crossing the sides over or under the middle. And you just go all the way down to the end. And I already brushed my hair for this, but it'll require a brush if you brush your hair. I don't brush my hair, but I did detangle before this. And then you'll just need your hair ties as well. I forgot to talk about the supplies needed at the beginning of this, so you'll get your hair tie. Braids are really easy styles. You can honestly do them without brushing your hair if you're awesome or don't have super tangly hair. I don't brush mine just because mine's curly and it would be a mess, but here's your classic 3-strand braid. On this other side, I'm just going to save this for the other braid. We'll do a fishtail. So a fishtail, it looks like what it says. Kind of looks more like a fish bone, like a fish spine, but you'll have 2 even sections of hair. And you'll want to take a small section from the back of one of these sections, and you'll cross it over to the other section. It doesn't matter which section you do first, but then you'll want to probably lean your head over to keep your sections clean at first, but the more you go down, the more gathered your hair is, and you don't have to keep it clean. So this is the section I just crossed over, so I'm going to try to keep it onto this side. Take another section from the very back of that first section, tighten it, give it a little zhuzh, and you just keep going. And eventually, as you work your way down, it'll get a lot easier to keep your sections clean. And also, pro tip, for a more defined braid, you'll want to do really tiny sections, but just for a regular braid, or maybe you're in a hurry, because this is one of the slower braids, unless you get pretty good at it, but I've, kind of always struggled with doing it pretty fast. I like to use bigger sections, so as you can see, mine are about 1/8 of all of the hair that's over here on each section. I'm using 1/8 of each section to cross over, but you always want to be making sure you're gathering from the back, because that's what gives the effect, and it also keeps your hair in place for the other styles, or for the braid all the way down. If you were to use front hair, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't really turn out to be a braid, because a whole braid is basically just you're weaving your hair to secure itself. I've got pretty curly hair, so I don't necessarily need a hair elastic, but most people do, and if I'm going somewhere, I definitely put a hair elastic in, because it won't stay, obviously. But I don't always need one, especially if I do French braids, because it's pretty my hair's pretty woven in there. And then you'll also see people some African American people, or just people with really coily hair texture. They don't use hair elastics or anything at all, just because their hair has so much grip to it, and texture, they don't need that sort of thing. You know, it just kind of stays on its own. But you just go all the way down, and now you see the finished effect of that braid. Put a little hair tie in it. Normally I would go all the way down, but for the sake of timing, I'm not going to do that. You get a little loosening. And this is what it looks like. The back matches the front. It should always do that. If you find the back looks really messy, it could be because you're not pulling sections from the back. You're like pulling them more towards the middle or the front. So go as far back to the back of your head when grabbing small pieces of hair as you can, or like the back of that section. And normally you can tell if it's the back if you tug on the hair, and you know it feels more towards like it's the back of your scalp. But don't tug on your hair hard, obviously. So I'm gonna kind of smooth this out a little bit, and then I'll show you the Dutch braid. So a Dutch braid and a French braid are basically the same thing, other than the fact that for a French braid, you would cross your hair over each section, or you would cross it under for a Dutch braid. So I'm going to show you the Dutch braid, but just know that it's the same thing for a French braid. So if you're good at a French braid, you're probably good at a Dutch braid too. It just will take some practice to cross under rather than over. So you go to the top of your head, and as you can see, I've got 3 even sections. So I'm going to start it just as a regular 3-strand braid. So you're going to cross the right section under the middle, right section becomes the middle, and then you're going to cross the left under the middle, right section becomes the left. So now you have 3 strands again. But after this, sorry I messed up my eyebrow. After this, you're just going to add little tiny sections of hair that are about the same size as the hair that you are holding. So I like to grab equivalent size sections to the sections that I've already made, and as they go down, it gets bigger and bigger. So this section is this size, I'm going to grab that size section of hair when grabbing. I'm not going to just keep adding really tiny pieces of hair. You can do that, it like makes a more defined braid, but I just like the look of this better. I like for it to start small at the top and then get fatter as you go down. Again, you're just grabbing in sections of hair from both sides of the scalp. I'll turn for you to see. I like to kind of use my fingers to create a clean part, or as clean of a part that I can. But you're just kind of keep grabbing equal sections of hair. And then crossing under for this Dutch braid. But if you were going to do a French braid again, you would go over. And you just keep braiding. And then you just go all the way down. I'll finish this one all the way. I kind of look crazy with 2 different braids on my head, but it's fine. Just go all the way down. So, you know, once you run out of hair, obviously, to pull sections from, you just do a regular 3-strand braid on the way down and tie it up. Then you can loosen it to create like a more, you know, messy look, or you can tighten it. You can layer your baby hairs. I don't do that because I don't really have any baby hairs, but if you did have baby hairs, you can do that. You can add these to any sort of updo or hairstyle. I like to do that whenever I'm doing my sister's prom hair or like bridesmaids stuff. You know, I kind of do people's hair freelance a lot, but I'm passionate about it. So I've been doing this for a really long time. I hope I'm credible for this. And I hope I gave you guys a pretty good demonstration on how to braid hair. So thank you so much. I hope you guys learned some things today, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.